or across the hall, straight across the hall. So just so you know, we do have restrooms in this facility, very nice restrooms. Let's see, I'm going to make some introductions. I'm Alberta Hemsley, and I'm your MC for today. And my brother Stan Hemsley. No, I am not married to him. He's my brother. Thank you very much. I have two of them. They do a comedy routine. Well, I'm the other brother. No, I'm the other brother. No, I'm the other brother. I'm the other person. Two brothers. Stanley does all of my cooking, and he does not come. You may not have him. He's mine. The other brother pays for the cleaning lady. Two men in my life, one to cook and one to clean. It doesn't get better. Here we go. Once again. The ducks are for you, Aftab. Come on up.
Oh, there's ducks. Oh, great.
25 of the ducks are from Sid. They have to go back to Sid at the end of the day. Sid is 20 months old and he's our youngest Democrat. 15 of them are from me. I'm donating them to your campaign.
Thank you. Let me get my name on here.
Yes, we have to remember your name.
Thank you. Thank you, Alberta. Thank you, Cincinnati Dems. I really appreciate it. Look at all this energy. This is awesome. I so appreciate giving me this opportunity, particularly because I feel like I just spoke to this group maybe like a handful of months ago.
You were running for your other office.
Yeah, well, no, I think I was just giving you an update on my office at the clerk's office. But I'm really happy to be here. As I understand it, this was a bit of a last-minute thing, so I only have a few minutes to be with you guys. I got to run to another event, but I wanted to give you just a sense of why I'm doing this, right? Why I jumped into this race, why I think this race is so important, and why we need all of your help to get this thing done. So, just to give you a reminder of who I am, Aftab Pureval, I'm the Hamilton County Clerk of Courts, thanks to all of you. And I got to tell you that this time running for office is a lot different than the first time I ran a few years ago, because no one had any idea who I was. No one had any idea what the Clerk of Courts race was and why that office was so important. And so particularly early on, a few years ago, when I would tell people, you know, I really want to run for the Clerk of Courts, they would say, are you crazy? Right? What are you thinking? You're going to run for an office no one cares about in conservative Hamilton County against an opponent that can't be beaten. Oh, by the way, you're a brown guy with an unpronounceable name. And to do all that, you have to leave P&G. What are you thinking? Are you crazy?
Yep.
And that was just my mom. So the deck was certainly stacked against us, but we ran as hard as we could. We ran to the four corners of Hamilton County, in the conservative parts, in the progressive parts. We shared our message everywhere, and at the end of the day, we won. And by winning, we became the first Democrat in over 100 years to be elected to the Clerk of Courts. But what I'm most proud of is not just winning, because plenty of Democrats win. But what I'm most proud of is that we've been able to govern. That the things that we promised, we've been able to effectuate change on a whole host of issues. When I first started in the office, the entry-level salary for people in my office was $21,000 a year. For a family of four in Cincinnati, those are poverty wages. Our civil servants, our public servants living and working in poverty was unconscionable. Now, every single one of my employees is guaranteed a livable wage of at least $30,000. So a lot of politicians talk about a living wage. We actually effectuated one. On my very first day in office, my very first day, I fired the previous leadership. I got rid of nepotism and patronage and make-work jobs because they were wasting taxpayer dollars. When I first started, we didn't even have a maternity leave policy. Women had to use sick time or FMLA just to give birth. Now I'm the first countywide executive to offer comprehensive paid family leave, not just paternity and maternity leave, but also sick leave, because so many of my employees are caring for elderly parents. And now they no longer have to make the choice between caring for a loved one or coming into work for fear of being fired. For the first time ever, my LGBTQ employees are a protected class, so now they have the same rights that you and I do. And for the first time in the courthouse's history, a division of my office is being organized by AFSCME. Because while the changes that we have instituted we're incredibly proud of, if a Republican comes into my office, they can wipe out all of the progress that we've made. But by my employees organizing, they can make those changes permanent. So what I'm most, thank you, yes, absolutely. So what I'm most proud of, after doing all of that, after treating our employees with dignity, after dragging the clerk's office into the 21st century with a new website and new services online, after all of that, we still saved Hamilton taxpayers nearly $1 million in taxpayer funds. So it's not true that Democrats are irresponsible with money. It's not true that you have to choose between being responsible and efficient or treating employees, and women in particular, female employees, with dignity. That's not true. Those are false choices. I made a lot of promises when I ran for office. I made a lot of promises to this group, and I followed through on those promises. I said what I meant, and I meant what I said. And that's not happening in Washington, D.C. right now. It's not. Our government, our politics, they're broken. They're toxic. The people that we've sent, our leaders that we've sent to Washington, D.C. to represent us, they've had their chance. They've failed. And now it's on us. It's on us to demand leaders that share our values, to demand leaders that make different choices, that make better choices. It's on us to get off the sidelines, to get into the arena, and to actually fight for what we believe in. And that's why I announced I'm running for the United States Congress. We get so focused in winning, right? We get so focused in the political theater that sometimes we forget that our decisions in politics, or the reason why public service is so special and so important, is because it has a real impact on real people's lives. And this election is no different. Make no mistake, this election is a profound choice between two very different visions for our country. Steve Chabot, Donald Trump, they've shown us who they stand for and what they stand for. When they tried to take health care away from millions of Americans in our country and 40,000 people right here in our district, also they could continue to rig the economy for their billionaire donors and corporations while blowing a $1.5 trillion hole in our budget. Who's going to pay for that? My generation's going to pay for that, and you're going to pay for that when they come for your Social Security and when they come for your health care. They've shown us who they stand for and what they stand for. Steve Chabot has shown us that by voting with Donald Trump 95% of the time. Can you imagine that? Following Donald Trump 95% of the time, it shows you just how radical and extreme his politics have become. He's a central reason for the dysfunction and the brokenness of Washington, D.C. He's become even more recklessly partisan in the 2 decades that he's been in Congress. And what do we have to show for it? 2 decades there. Take a look around. Is your life better after 2 decades under Steve Chabot than it was 2 decades ago? I think the obvious answer is no. I want to present a different vision for our government. Just like I did in the clerk's office, I want to go to Washington, D.C. to challenge the status quo, to believe that we can make things better, and to change things exactly for the better. I want to make promises and actually follow through on those promises. And I'll make you these promises. I will always stand with working families. Just look at my record in the clerk's office. I will always stand up for the people and the communities who've been marginalized by Donald Trump and Steve Chabot. Whether you agree with me or not, you will always know where I stand. And you will always see me in your communities, at your meetings, at your town halls, at your Catholic church festivals, because unlike my opponent, I will never be afraid to face my constituents. There's no doubt that Donald Trump won an election. He won. But he will never be able to redefine America as a place where racists are fine people, as a place where a foreign government can meddle and rig our elections, as a place where women and girls are forced to suffer silently at the hands of an abuser while people in power look the other way. Donald Trump's not on the ballot in 2018. But you know who is? Steve Chabot and the Congress that has done Donald Trump's bidding without objection. 2018 is our chance to send Donald Trump a message that we're sick of the games he's playing with our health care and our lives. That we're tired of the mess that he's making in Washington, D.C., and that we've had enough. We have had enough of the lies and of the attacks on women and people of color. 2018 is our chance to get organized, to get fired up, to knock on the doors, to make the calls, and to tell Steve Chabot and Donald Trump, you are fired. And no one's going to get it done, except for the people in this room. No one's going to come in and save us. Bobby Kennedy's not walking through that door. It's on the activists and the organizers in this room to do the hard work. Because this is the most winnable race in the entire state of Ohio for Congress. This one right here, in our backyard. Just by the numbers. Objectively by the numbers, this is the most winnable district. And if we want to take back the House, if we want a Democratic majority to truly hold Trump accountable, we have to win districts like this. That's why I feel the fierce urgency of now, as a young, diverse candidate, to stand up to the misogyny and the racism that has infected our national politics. That's why I'm doing this right now, even though I'm getting married in May. Truly, that's why I'm doing this right now, because I believe in what President Obama told us, that we are the ones that we've been waiting for. In his last interview, President Obama was asked, what do you want your chapter in history to be? What do you want your legacy to be? And he thought about it for a second, and then he answered. And he said, it's not health care, it's not climate change, it's not the jobs. He wants his legacy to inspire a new generation of leaders to believe that it doesn't matter what you look like or where you're from, what your name is or what your ethnicity is. If a guy named Barack Hussein Obama, who was born in Hawaii and grew up on the south side of Chicago, if he can grow up to be president, then anything is possible. He wanted his legacy to inspire a new generation of leadership to be a cleansing wave across the country. That's us. That's our opportunity. We are all part of President Obama's legacy. It's on us to do the work, to fight the fights, and to win this election. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so sorry, guys. I have to...
What about Warren County? Can you win in Warren County? Yes.
The objective is not to win in Warren County. The objective is to win the 1st Congressional District. So I really do have to run after this quick question, but here is the strategy. It's similar to my clerk of court strategy, right? Can I win the entire most conservative part of Hamilton County? The answer is probably no. But we don't have to, right? All we have to do is improve our margins. If I can win, if I can lose better in Warren County, if I can post a number that is better than any other Democrat has ever posted, then I can get the votes out of Hamilton County to win this race. I would not jump into this race. A lot of you don't know me that well personally, but I'm incredibly risk averse, right? I would never jump into this race. I would never risk what I'm risking unless I was confident this was a winnable race. And this race will be won or lost in Warren County. I don't have to win there, but I have to do better there. And I'm confident that I will. All right, guys, thank you.
If he wins, when he leaves, who appoints the successor or when is it?
Refreshing, huh? From his words to God's ears. I have the rest of the day to make sure we do the rest of our meeting here. I want to hear from Katie. Katie is the one who got Aftab here today, and she also needs to tell us about Ellie.
Last week you heard that my granddaughter walked into her brother's baseball bat as he was swinging it. Oh. So she had a skull fracture. It was repaired on Monday morning by Dr. Mangano, who is the chief of neurosurgery at Children's Hospital. An amazing person and his fellows. By 3 o'clock in the afternoon, she was extubated, kicking and screaming and yelling, and get this stuff off of me. This stuff is all annoying. And she was moved out of ICU on Tuesday morning, and still was trying to get everything out of her. Even the pulse ox thing was on her big toe. She hated it. Annoying. And she was playing hide and seek. She was talking to everybody, and they kicked her out on Wednesday afternoon because she had passed all of her discharge things and full recovery and neuro checks perfectly fine. Feisty little girl, a devil right now to keep calm, which is, but she's just doing terrific.
Did she like the cards that we made for her?
Loved them. We put them all up on the wall of her room, and she just loved them. And all the things that all these people were sending. I mean, people have just been absolutely amazing from coast to coast. We've had family all over the country that, we're all prayer warriors. And let me tell you, thank you very much for all your thoughts and prayers that came our way, because it certainly made a difference. So,
Thank
awesome.
you,
Thank you,
Katie. And thank you, Ellie, for getting better. And thank you for making your cards last week. That was very nice. It evidently lifted family spirits, and Ellie liked them.
Yeah, we're doing announcements now.
Announcements.
Yeah, any of you might be interested in addiction. The Jewish Family Service has given a program about addiction and shame a week from Thursday, March 15th at 7 o'clock. It's free, and it's at the Blue Ash Golf Course, that Cobra Creek, or whatever it's called. Yeah, I put some flyers over there about it.
Hi, I have a petition that I'm trying to get signatures for today, and since there's a lot of people here, I expect to fill it up. Anyway, this has to do with an initiative, a statewide initiative to reduce the number of people in state prison for low-level, non-violent drug possession or drug use offense,
Sounds like a good cause.
or for non-criminal probation violations by providing, and it goes on. It's very well constructed. There's a lot of enthusiasm for this. The Amos Project is in charge of it locally, and we need 70,000 signatures by June the 9th. It's a big challenge, and if you have any questions, I'll do my best to try to answer them. Yeah, it would be, yeah, on the November ballot, yeah.
Do you have it for a certain county?
This is, oh yeah, that's a good point. This is for Hamilton County.
So if you're from Warren County, you can't sign this one. You have another one from Warren County?
I don't, but I can bring another one. We'll
Bring it next week.
bring it next
We had some voted Warren County people here.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Pardon? Good
Facebook.
question. I don't know.
Amos, A-M-O-S. You can
I'm
find out about
assuming
it.
if you went to Amos, I don't know what their website is, do you, Katie?
AMOS.
AMOS.com, and you'll be able to,
AMOS, yeah.
or it could be .org, but they're sponsoring this statewide. So Elizabeth Hopkins is going to be coming
Yeah, right now,
in June.
in Hamilton County, there's a shortage of prison cells, and they're talking about building a new prison. And this is just a waste of money. Now, the initiative, this constitutional amendment, it would require that all the money saved would go toward drug rehabilitation.
Let us hear.
Let me see what else.
Sounds like a plan.
I don't know, there's a list of things. Right now, 70% of the money saved would go directly toward drug rehabilitations that had to be certified by the state. These rehabilitation facilities around the country, some of them are scam facilities. They understand that, and they have a strict certification process. They'd have to be recertified twice a year. So all the money that would be saved housing people in prisons that don't work and create wealth for private prison owners would go toward drug rehabilitation and other social programs to keep people out of prison.
Yeah.
Any questions?
May I comment on what you're saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
Here, you go, Martha.
Martha.
I'm really glad you brought this up. And look, the history of that jail is so desperate. We had a wonderful woman there that ran the jail, McGuffey, Captain McGuffey. She was the first woman that ever was in charge of that jail. And she did a hell of a job. And because of the reforms she was making there, she was kicked out. Yeah. So this is real important. Yes, all those guys sitting there because they don't have bail money. You know, this is crazy as hell. So, yeah.
I'd just like to add, I once heard the assistant police chief of Cincinnati say that 90% of the people incarcerated in the city were because of drug-related offenses. And at the same time, they were trying to get $100 million to build a new jail. And I just thought, whoa, what's wrong with this picture? You know, if we treat these people instead of incarcerate them, we don't need new jails. We can tear everything down.
Other announcements? Candidates? Go ahead, Craig.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Craig Rosen. I just have two quick announcements. Today is the last day for Cincinnati Public Schools open engagement as it relates to the West Side and FCC Stadium land swap. As I said last night on television, my biggest concern is that they pay their fair share, not what currently is on the books now when a public entity such as a school district or a municipality or a port authority owns a property and then leases it back, which makes the taxation zero. So go to CPS's website, you'll see the public engagement form there, and answer it however you like. I just think it's great if people engage. Second, the Cincinnati Recreation Commission on Wednesday, March 21st, 6:30 to 8 p.m. Is having a master plan focus group. Space is limited. They're asking you to sign up online. There's two locations. There's the Westwood Town Hall and the Quarryville Recreation Center. Both begin at 6:30 p.m. and they're expected to last until 8 p.m. I believe it's critical that we support some of these public services that our city provides and find ways to provide equitable access. So I hope you'll consider attending one of these events.
Craig, be sure to fill out a form that Peter's going to give you right now, this elaborate form. It's called a 3x5 card, and he will put you on our newsletter. So the information will be there for everybody. But if it, for the one for tonight, you have to just go on your own.
Cincinnati Recreation Commission Master Plan. It's something that the community has been asking for many years, and with new leadership over the last year and a half, I think it's a great opportunity for the community to be engaged.
There you go.
Hi,
Dr.
everybody.
Janet.
I just wanted to let everybody know that the drjanetforcongress.com website is open for volunteers. We are starting canvassing today. We've got good weather and we're starting in Hyde Park. We've got volunteers out there. And we really would like to move to great canvassing this weekend. And so please log on to our website. If you are able to canvass in your area, we'd like you to sign up. Thanks so much.
And donate.
Oh, yes, and donate, always, you know, I asked you every time to
And
please.
your mom is helpful.
Always, every little bit helps, we thank you so much. Okay.
And the website is?
drjanetforcongress.com.
Dr. Janet for Congress. Marlena.
Hello, Marlena Brookfield again. Just want to give a quick announcement. My husband and I are helping to host a little social event called Blue Waves and Brewskis this Thursday at Westside Brewing, 6 o'clock to 9 or whenever. So if you feel like coming out and just kind of getting to know some fellow Democrats, there are Democrats on the west side, I promise. Come out and see us this Thursday.
There you go. Make sure you fill out your little form for Peter.
Hello, Cedric Denson, back running for the Fighting
Welcome back,
33rd
Cedric.
State House District. We, like Dr. Janet, we just had our campaign office opening, and we are launching our canvas next Monday, but we just opened our office right up the street, so you'll probably have me for lunch like every week now. We're running as the endorsed Democrats are fighting 33rd for education, jobs, and justice. We've got some great things going, some really good energy. Over 75 people stopped by to sign up. You can go to Vote Denson to sign up as well. Again, that's Vote Denson, DENSON.com, and we take money and volunteers as well. Thank you. I'll see you all soon.
Monica's up.
I'm up. Can I yell?
Here.
Monica Lyra here. I wanted to say two things. The signs are available here, $10. I have had a surge of interest since back in Amberley. Most of the signs that were there,
Being held up by
others,
Judy there.
have been stolen or broken. And a lot of folks are up and buying them. They are $10. They are sold to you at cost. I make not a cent out of it. It comes out of my pocket to buy them. Secondly, Peg Conway is holding in Amberley tonight a healthcare forum for all at 7 p.m. at 8101 Spring Valley Drive. I'm providing some wonderful lights, and we hope you can come. We'll provide humor and information, and that's always good because we always come for humor and information out here. And thank you very much for your attention. I return you now to the regularly scheduled program.
Announcements.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Does anybody have any information about the school walkout next, a week from tomorrow? If every school's gonna be doing it, or, I mean, do we, I need to
17
know.
minutes, is it?
Yeah, I need to know where to show up. It's for the schools, the students are gonna be walking out for 17 minutes, it's a month anniversary.
I know for Mason,
I'm sorry, they said it's a month anniversary.
for Mason, it's gonna be 17 minutes, it's 10 a.m. in the morning, but it's gonna be inside the school, they're gonna do a sit-in. But then it's gonna be at 6 p.m. when families can join. I still don't know more details, the kids are still working on it, but probably I'll have more information by next week.
Does anybody know about school districts that have adopted punitive measures for kids who
I've
plan
heard
to
about
walk
them.
out?
Closing them out of schools, keeping them off buses.
They'll be charged with truancy, they won't be allowed back into the schools, there's all kinds of measures that people know about districts around here that are doing this. I know there's at least one, and I don't remember which one it is.
Not Cincinnati.
Not Mason.
Northern Kentucky
Northern Kentucky?
has a couple. I heard about that yesterday. I don't know which one.
Is there any?
They were threatening suspension for kids too.
Yeah, suspension as well. Is there anything we can do? I mean, can we?
Alert the media. They like to hear about that.
Well, I heard it through the media.
Just an FYI, this past weekend, we had 4 Cincinnati public schools in the Ohio High School Athletic Association playoffs for basketball. All 4 of them were scheduled to play at Mason High School. Mason High School didn't really want our kids there. So they instituted a policy that only tickets would be pre-sold. They let the schools know on Thursday for games on Friday and Saturday. And athletic directors did everything they could to let the 4 schools know about this. And I mean, people were just absolutely outraged that all of a sudden Mason decided that they were going to only do pre-sale tickets. But then Mason wound up with a big problem because they were just hundreds of people that showed up and they had no choice except to sell tickets at the door. So that's something in your area that you need to know about. It has been reported to Ohio High School Athletic Association, and our school board members have not been pleased with that kind of action. So just so that you know, there are things going on, and we think we're moving forward, but for every step forward, we seem to take 2 steps backwards.
Anybody else for the announcements? I've got a bunch here that I want to give. Okay.
Here's John.
Oh, John Raypatch.
Hi, I just got here. Yesterday I just got a petition which is being circulated for next year. It's for the one to change the, I can't give you a speech on it, but anyway.
Is yours made out for Hamilton County yet? Because we need one for Warren County.
Mine's for Hamilton County only, but obviously there's others, you can pick one up. But it's a state petition to get rid of the...
But I have written on my blog sort of a travelogue about it. You can see pictures about work with immigrants there. It's very close to the border. We were putting up people who were allowed to get through to us in a little church there because they had papers from their families saying that they would put them up. They had a place to go here. Now, this is the chain migration that Trump wants to get rid of, where family can bring family. But so far, we don't know exactly why or how, but ICE is letting people through that have those kind of papers. And we don't know whether just some are getting through, but we had 24 people turning up at our little church right before I left. And we put them up in the church. They sleep in our social hall. We put up cots and everything. We give them a big dinner. Their first night in this country. And pictures of this and this post of mine. I have a few copies of how you reached it. The link to this blog if anybody's interested.
Make sure Peter gets the link.
Oh.
I just want to say, is this not a remarkable woman?
And she's only 49. Wait till she gets into her 80s. Mother Jones did an extensive article about the charter school mess in Ohio, and I have copies if any of you want to get one. They're $20.
For profit, right?
I'm selling them for 15.
Okay. If you are free, this Friday morning, I'm looking for, I have one volunteer, Liz Sue said she will come, to do a very positive thing at a naturalization ceremony on Friday morning at 10 o'clock. But sometime, listen, just take the list, see if there's a time when you might be able to come. Be in touch with me if you haven't done it before, because it's not the regular courthouse, it's the Hamilton County District Court down by the bus station. And the first time I will meet with you and walk you through the, they have it's just like going through the airport in terms of security, and getting you up to the courthouse on room 842. So anybody who wants to do a naturalization ceremony, feel good about, I personally have registered over 300 people to vote this year already, because I have been going to these naturalization ceremonies. And if you want to get people to vote, good people who want to vote, this is a really nice opportunity to register people to vote, and they are so grateful, and it's such a positive experience. Just think about joining me sometime. I have lists there, and my name and phone number and email and stuff. I also want to inform you about this Democratic Party letter that I got this week about precinct executives. Precinct executives are a critical building block of the party, really are grassroots. In Hamilton County, there are a total of 559 precincts. There are 357 candidates running for a total of 278 of those precincts, which means a whole bunch of precincts are not being serviced by a precinct executive. So if you're looking for something to do, I suggest, let me tell you, there is no deadline. Caleb will assign you a precinct if you want one. There are how many? The last time you can get on the ballot. Now, I also have here 35 pages of what's on the Hamilton County candidates and issues that have filed for the primary election. And you can see what, if you know your district, you can find out if there's somebody signed up for your precinct executive for your district. And it's here. Notice that the R says Republican, the D is for Democrat, a whole bunch of Republicans. Here's the Democratic ones, but there are a whole bunch of the blanks. When they're in red, it means that somebody actually have yeah. When they're red, it means that you actually have an opposition on the. Don't not vote for these people, and see if you can find out who they are, if they're, you know what your district is. And also, this has all of the information. And I've given Peter the site of how to get there. So there are like 200 precinct executive jobs open. And I once called them with a complaint about my precinct. I was immediately made precinct executive. And within 2 weeks of that, I had voting in my garage. They no longer allow me to have voting in my garage, which is kind of a shame, because I live in a little precinct called Edgemont, which is the only piece of Springfield Township that's east of 75, and it's adjacent to Roselawn. So people think I'm in Roselawn, but I'm not. I'm in Springfield Township, the little 7-block area. I can vote for you, please. Thank you very much. 33rd District. Right.
Are you District 2?
No, I'm not in District 2. I'm in District 1. That's why I did the Aflac thing this morning. I want to remind you about the ducks. 25 of the ducks are from Sid, our 20-month-old Democrat. And his brother is sick today, and so Deb is not here. But she would like her ducks back. But she wanted to support Aftab, so she heard I was bringing ducks. And I have 15 ducks that I'm going to donate to the campaign. Yes.
Can we buy from you?
Only if I will give the money to Aftab's campaign.
I know.
That's fine.
Okay.
Any amount.
I want my duck.
She wants her duck. You can only have the yellow ducks, like the other duck, the little white ones. And no, sorry, that belongs to Sid. I can show it. She sent a picture. She really wants these ducks back, but she really wanted to support us here today, and she wanted to support Aftab.
Deb will let you sell the white ducks, and it's going to go to Aftab. The white ducks. She said I could give the white ducks to Aftab.
Oh.
So we're giving the money. I think that'd be the same.
If you want to give $1 or something to the campaign, see her. She's the one who brought the ducks in for Sid today.
Sid doesn't have object permanency.
Make sure that he gets his ducks back. Yeah, only the white ones. The decorative ducks, absolutely not. But
Okay, so,
can be decorative.
okay, I still have announcements to make about, so can I introduce everybody? Okay, for next week, the Poor People's Campaign is going to be Mary Aguilera. Following that, well, we have a really good speaker, not that Mary isn't, but that Mary, if you want to hear a powerful speaker, Michelle Dillingham is going to be here talking about the impact of tax abatements. She's for the Cincinnati Educational Justice Coalition. Did I say that right? No, that's 2 weeks from now, the 20th. 13th is the Poor People Campaign. And I have lots of these papers there somewhere with lots of lists of who's coming up. And if you haven't seen that, we have 4 people. Who are the 4 people coming on the 24th of April?
24th, Bob Richardson, who's running for treasurer. We have Kathleen Clyde, who's running for Attorney General. We
Secretary of State.
Secretary of State. Steve Dettelbach, who's running for Attorney General. And Zach Space, who's running for auditor.
Wow. She's got all 4 of them coming on one day. So we have bunches of candidates coming, and we will remain a place for you to find out about other Democrats. So, and on March 27th, candidate for Ohio Governor Joseph Schiavone. Okay, so we do have Cordray's Sutton campaign coming. I think Sutton is coming to speak to us.
I'm not sure exactly who's coming, but someone from the campaign will be here.
Yeah, so we are having those 2 candidates, but it turns out there are like 6 Democrats running for governor.
Yes.
6. Cordray, Ely, Kucinich, O'Neill, Ray, Schiavone are all 6 Democrats running for governor. Get to know your list, and the address will be on your list there. I have printed many copies of our first year's program. If you want to go back and see the people that we had last year. We had 50 speakers last year, and we'll have 50 speakers again. Take a copy of our most recent handout of coming speakers, and we go through the end of May currently, and Katie is working way beyond that. It's amazing. She's just fabulous. And be sure to take the containers of food on the side table. Finish off the food. We don't want any food left over. Yes, Sue.
I have something else I want to add to the bit of information going out today. This is a really excellent article that Mike has brought. I encourage all of you to take one with you and read it. It's in Mother Jones. But it has to do with the charter school fiasco here in Ohio. I don't know if people are realize just how much money is being lost. ECOT alone costs Ohio $1 billion in taxpayer money. This was money down the drain, and that's bad enough. The worst part is the kids did not get the education. They were the victims. And right now in Ohio, we have one of the strongest Ohio Board of Educations we've had in years. And because of that, I'm sure, the Republican legislators are introducing a bill to try to weaken the Board of Ed so that it is only responsible for licensure and have no impact on policy. And this is really going to be destructive, and we have to fight it.
Here, I'll look and see what they
Kasich is ready to sign if it goes through, but it's going to take a while to get it through. But we need to be aware of it, so I just wanted to make you aware of it. I'm sure you'll be hearing more. That basically it would, our Ohio Board of Education has 8 elected members, no, 8 assigned members. So the governor has plenty of it already. he puts members of choice on the board, but then there's 12 elected members, and he wants to get rid of all that.
We have somebody, Marlena wants to go again, and I want to mention Bonnie in the back is working diligently on her pussy hats. It is not too late to get a pussy hat. You will have many opportunities, I'm sure, before the next November election to wear a pussy hat in some kind of demonstration somewhere. So see Bonnie in the back.
I just wanted to comment
So 24th of March?
Okay, guys, we need to.
I just wanted to add a comment to what Sue just said. Richard Cordray, who is running for governor, supports that.
No, I nailed him on that last Saturday. I nailed him on that last Saturday and made it very clear, and he said, no, he's not
Awesome.
supporting. I nailed him on that.
Never mind.
We had Katie there at the Capitol. She had breakfast with those 4 guys that she made
And I had dinner with Cordray.
at dinner with Cordray.
Alberta, could I just ask you, do you have the
I was at the Ohio Federation of Teachers Convention, and we, in a political year, I was at the Ohio Federation of Teachers Convention, and we are always very active in political years of having the people come in and speak to them and be able to answer questions. And so we had quite a few people, and it was enlightening, very much enlightening.
What do you think of her? Don't hide, don't hold back.
I like him. He's going to need a lot of guidance on some issues, and but he was a really smart guy grabbing a hold of Betty Sutton, because she's the bomb. She's really the bomb. Betty knows her stuff, and it's really important that she's his lieutenant governor, because I think she's going to keep him in line. Just my opinion. I mean, Cordray's a nice guy. He's more drab. I mean, he doesn't, he's not real fiery. She's the firewoman.
Why isn't she running?
Because she was, and then she realized once Cordray came on that probably, I'm sorry, the political climate in Ohio, getting a female elected to governor, wouldn't happen. And so therefore, she made a smart political move to tie on with Cordray, which is a very strong ticket. Yeah, and he's got the fundraising ability.
National fundraising.
Yeah. Yeah.
May I just ask you,
Here we go with Martha.
no, just a quick question. Do you have the addresses of the precincts on there? I don't know the numbers.
Caleb. See, look them up.
I can look it up.
Go to Hamilton County,
You go to the Board of Education and put in your address.
or go to the Board of Elections.
If you go to the Board of Elections, put your address in, and it'll tell you what district and ward you're in.
Yep. They're not
And
trying
if
to
you're
hide that from
registered.
you. I have the information. I'm running unopposed. So if my brother and I vote, we're probably going to make it. My 2 brothers have to vote if they're going to eat in my house.
I'm sure there are ways to do it online.
Okay, and with that, I'm going to say thank you for coming. You are a great group. I really appreciate you being part of this effort that we're doing here. Come on back. Sign up for your name tag in the back. Sign the petitions that we have.
Do you want a copy of this?
Oh, money for the ducks.
Yeah, I can. Thank you.
No. I'm happy to give it.
Again, I don't know if we ever met.
This pocket is going to be money for Aftab.
No, the only other one I
Felons 4 and 5. In other words, people that have a minor offense can go in and get a felony.
Sue's passing
She's got
on.
one.
So we have 2 petitions down
Oh,
here.
I've got one too.
Okay, so let's
make sure they get around.
circulating and sign it. Doug.
Just a note for those of you who are looking for the website for the Amos Project, it is theamosproject.org.
theamosproject.org. Add that AMOS, the. Come on, Martha, again.
Okay, I just want to say that I was gone, as you know, for over a month. in Las Cruces, New Mexico, which I've been visiting for about 15 years in the wintertime. I once had family living there. That's how I got, once I retired, started going there.